Hello, I'm Natalie. This is Scientology Life After a Cult, where I talk about what's happening with Scientology. I do a recap in the mornings and in the evenings. If you're seeing me, it's because I've been fortunate enough to interview someone. And guess what we're going to talk about? Scientology. I know, big surprise. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Everybody else, welcome back. Check your button, and like this video as well. I'd really appreciate it. It'll help us with notifications as well. Hello to everybody in the chat, and thank you to the moderators that are helping out tonight. I'm so excited because you guys know who I get to talk to tonight. The woman who's bringing the fun in Austin, who has taken protesting and made it something to not just educate, not just raise awareness, but add the entertainment value. I mean, other people have done that too, but I'm not sure they've done it to this level. I'm not sure that they have. So I would love to bring to the main stage here, Pearlsnappy. Yeah, hip hip hooray.
Yay! That's right.
Hip hip hooray.
Yeah, I got to hear that last week on Friday. A
Did you
little.
actually hear it when you were outside? So for those who don't know, and you should know if you're following her at Pearlsnappy here on YouTube. She was at the graduation last night at the Austin Scientology building. So you made it to the end and you actually heard the hip hip hooray.
We did. They stayed there. They were hiding inside for a very long time. They would have hid there all night had my battery not died. So if I go there again for that, I will have all of the batteries because they'll just stay inside. They don't want to come outside when I'm there.
Yeah, you need one of those. Did you see the one that Chris without a Hellcat has? He's got the Jackery. I mean,
Yeah.
they look heavy, but
I mean, I think I will have, so there are people coming starting this weekend to help me scope out everything that's happening with the Austin org.
yeah.
The permits are still pending and in review,
Hmm.
but they've put so many more out with parking, and so I think it is going to happen. But I'll learn more by watching them set up during the week. Plus, I'll get to, you know, sing to them
Hmm.
while they're all, setting up the stage for little Davy.
Yes. So this is looking like the opening, the long awaited opening for the Austin organization is going to be February 24th.
That's right.
And how long are they closing the streets for?
Certain streets they want closed for like 4 days leading up to it. Some they just want the full day. The big one where they're asking for the sidewalk for the whole block to be closed off
Yeah.
is just for the day, but still, like, I don't know how the businesses are going to welcome that. And when I tried to talk to a couple of them, they were just like, you say Scientology to the owner of a coffee shop or the
Yeah.
manager, whoever I spoke to, and they were like, so they didn't even want to see the permits. I was just like, I mean, they're trying to close your building down for a whole day, a Saturday.
Yeah. Now, when you say close the street, would that close even foot traffic to the different businesses, or is it just the
That's
vehicle?
what they're asking for. They're asking for a full closure of the sidewalk, the bike lane, the parking lane, and then one lane of the southbound traffic.
So that no one could walk up and down the street. Wow.
Right.
And how many businesses would this affect if they were allowed to do it?
A few, several. I mean, there's 3, I think, on that block. So there's the coffee shop, and then it's right also by the co-op for the university, which is like their bookstore and where you could buy like UT merch and stuff like that. That's all in the same little area.
Sure.
So I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know who they think they are.
So how long has it been now that you've been going out there in front of the either the new building in Austin or their temporary building where they've been for a while?
I think 3 weeks.
Wow.
I think that's what we're looking at. I'm gonna look back and see.
That's incredible. And in 3 weeks, you have managed to set the record, as far as we know, for shutting down Scientology recruitment on the street. And
Yeah,
was it 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes?
it was 3, but it may have even been less because they were starting to pack it up before I could even get live. Because she had already come up and taken my picture.
Ah.
And I haven't seen her. Now I've seen the lady I shut down the first time. I've seen her.
Yeah.
And she just tries to mean mug me, but then I don't back down, so then she runs away.
Mean what you? Mean mug you?
Mug me, yeah, just like stand there and like glare at me, just like giving me like the Xenu eyes or whatever. I don't know what she's trying to do, like move an ashtray. I don't
Mhm.
know.
She's using her intention. She's putting intention, probably what's in Scientology is called evil intention into you. You
She
just
probably
gotta
is,
go
but
boom, boom.
I have a force field.
Yeah,
She doesn't know.
deal with that.
Right.
She doesn't know what she's getting into. It just reflects off of her, bounces off with
And
your
right back to her.
SE superpower and right back onto her. Exactly. So that look you saw was really probably pain.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I was also like laying on the horn at one point, like when I drove back through, um, and they were all out there because my battery died and I was mad. So I drove back through the parking lot and they were all out there. And so I was just like laying on the horn. And she was just trying to like stand up to that, and then she was just like, "Oh, I'm gonna go inside," and then she locked the door. Ma'am, sound can go through a locked door. I
Yeah.
don't know if you've learned this in Scientology yet, lady. Maybe you need to get up the bridge, but also I'm not going to like drive my car through the building. I'm not gonna ruin my things to like get you, you know?
Crazy John's asking, for Pearl, if you get a chance, can you ask the Austin Cult of Scientology folks if they're the fastest growing religion? Why is there only a tiny mission in a dumpy strip mall in Houston and not an org? That's
I
a
would
good
totally ask them, however, they don't talk to me. Um,
question.
like they don't talk to me. Now, I know that there are some people that are going to be going to the Houston mission to kind of just check it out,
Yeah.
but I suspect it's probably like the Dallas one. And the Dallas one is actually an org.
Yeah, Dallas is an org. That's right.
And it's just like there were 5 cars in the parking lot. And if you show up on a Friday night for graduation, that's your best chance of seeing them,
Yeah.
in my opinion. If especially if it's like a smaller org like that. But I mean,
Mhm.
Dallas is pretty big. It also has no foot traffic. It's in an industrial park.
Of course it is, because that just makes so much sense. Niece
Yeah.
is saying, does Scientology think they own the streets? Yeah, they do.
Yes, they do.
They do.
They think
They
they own everything.
they do. Hey, are you gelling? Can you sing us a song? Yes. Could we get one of the, for those who don't know, you need to know, you need to find out. She has so many original songs, parodies that she does outside of Scientology in Austin. And while you decide which song you're going to sing, how do you come up with these?
So sometimes it'll be something that is said, or there's like a Scientology phrase that it like clicks in my head that it would go with a specific song.
Yeah.
So that's it's about the melody and where I can fit the words in. And then I have to think about what are the actual words and then in real time think about replacing them because most of those I just make up on the spot.
Mm,
Um
see that.
so then I have to remember them. And so like for the 9 to 9, so working 9 to 9, what a way to make a living. And then it's barely getting by. It's all taking and no giving. They will use your mind and your whole line of credit. It's enough to make you PTS3 if you let it.
Hip hip hooray. That's
And
fantastic.
they hate it, and I love it. And now I can yell it with this. So for any of you that didn't see, I'm
Yes,
walking
tell us
my
about this.
dogs. I'm walking my dogs today, and I find this thing, and it says Shelly. It says Shelly. Somebody just put this on their curb, and they were like, "Please take this away." And I was just like, "Hold my beer." And then you could see it was from 85, 86 is when this person was in JV. And then on the inside, it says Sandra Wilkinson was the captain in 81 and 82. So I don't know if Shelly is the mascot
Yeah.
of the Tiger.
I can't
So I'm going
believe
to have to
somebody
look
would
it
let
up.
go of that. That's classic. That's vintage,
Yeah,
and they're just leaving it. Are
so
you
good.
let me ask you, are you sure it was the garbage? It wasn't, like, on a porch or okay.
No, no, it's very common. I actually find lots of good stuff around Austin because people will just leave stuff when they're moving.
Yeah.
or whatever, especially college kids, they'll just
Mhm.
put really nice stuff out there sometimes. So I've gotten tents, gotten
Wow.
camping gear. I got this obviously.
Yeah. That's super cool. So I can't believe you find that. It says Shelley on it, which is just perfection in
Yes.
reference to Shelley Miscavige, if anybody who's wondering. So what's the plan? What's the plan? How's this gonna work into things?
I'm gonna use it to be louder,
Mm,
especially if they're not playing music.
mhm.
This definitely in the okay, so the downtown org, that building has the best acoustics because I just and that's why you'll see me yelling up a lot.
Ah, this is the new building.
Yes, the new building, I'm yelling up for 2 reasons. 1, because there's a window that they watch me out of, and they think that I don't know what window they're watching me out of, so I'm singing to them directly. But also, when I yell up, that sound bounces off the wall and just goes, like, everywhere. So the whole town hears me, and that's why a guy from UT, like, the custodial staff,
Yeah.
heard me yelling and came over because he wanted to support me yelling about Scientology, and then when he saw the cops roll up, which were not there for me, but he that's when he was just like, okay, I'm gonna protect this girl. Cops aren't gonna take her away. Like F this cult, F Sciento."
F Sciento. I hope we're gonna see some F Sciento merch. Why do you think it is that they have not corrected that? I mean, it's all over the internet. It's the sign of their new Scientology, building. It's this big deal. They're supposed to be this ideal organization. Why do they let the garbage bags fall down and let it say F Sciento for how many days are we into this now?
At least a week, and on top of that, they put new tarps over the big sign that goes across the top of the building and along the side.
Yeah.
So those they put up new tarps over. And there were multiple strings coming off of them. So they were up there. They were up there. They were there. And they were just like, "You know what? F Sciento indeed." They probably were. They're probably just like, "You know what? As soon as this thing's, like, open, I'm out. I'm out." They're gonna get on that little motorcycle like our friend Dave did and just ride the wrong way away from the org. Um, but I don't know. I don't know if they think I'm gonna catch them and
Mhm.
troll them, which if I did, I would,
Yeah.
but I don't know. And it's the fact that it's wrapped in garbage bags, it's not even like a plastic tarp. Those
Yeah.
are garbage bags that
In
are
Chicago
duct
too.
taped. Yeah. Thanks for the truth in advertising.
Wrapped in garbage.
Yeah,
Scientology.
what's in here? What's in there? Garbage. The windows wrapped in garbage bags. Like, what's in there? More garbage. All the garbage. It's the town dump
Mhm.
right now, as opposed to the other little dumpy one that they're at that they tried to lie to the police officers and say that they owned so that they could trespass me.
That's right. They totally lied, and I love that you called them out on it and like, no, they don't own it. They're a tenant in the building. Amy's
Right.
asking, would you ask them why they spend millions on a commercial, but have to ask for someone to donate a treadmill?
I mean, I think we know, right?
It's called
The so
Scientology math.
Yeah, and their math is not mathing. So,
Mm.
to give an idea to people that don't really understand how much David Miscavige and the head of, like, all the they do not care. They don't care about any of these orgs. The members of Austin have been paying the rent. They've been fundraising for the last however many years to pay over $10,000 a month in rent. That's not utilities or anything, for that
What,
dump.
for the strip mall?
Yeah, over $10,000 a month. They're fundraising. The church is not paying them and reimbursing them for that. They have to fundraise. Plus, they fundraised for the new org renovations. So there are people that have paid for that building to be done, and now they're paying rent for a building that they shouldn't be paying rent for. And if that landlord thinks that he's going to get his 60-day notice, like, I got a bridge to sell him.
Mhm. They're gonna ditch out because you got
Mhm.
the when because even I was watching your live stream and you could hear the landlord a little bit, and he was saying that because you were telling him, yeah, they're moving into this whole building, and he didn't know anything about them moving
Mhm.
and said that, well, they would owe him a 60-day notice. And these guys are like in the back packing up. They're gonna
Yeah,
leave in
it's
the
like
middle of the night.
It's gonna just be like the Baltimore Colts, and that's how they became the Indianapolis Colts. They're just gonna get a big old Mayflower truck, and the next day people are gonna show up and they're gonna be gone. It's
So
gonna be the same thing.
what was his reaction? I could hear, but what were you seeing when he found out that they were moving into a whole nother building and had not told him at all as the landlord?
He didn't quite know what to do with any of us because at one point we had looked up the information on who owned that. So we knew the names of the two people. So it's that guy and his brother. So one of the people that was there were like, "Oh, are you so and so?" And he was shocked that we knew. He was like, "That's my brother." Like he was not comfortable with the fact that we knew that. And then when we like, so his whole demeanor changed when he realized that we knew who he was and what was going on here.
Mhm,
He also indicated that, like, in the '80s, he may have been in Scientology, but is not anymore. He doesn't care about them either, but they pay him a lot of money, and that's what he said to me. He
mhm,
said, when they finally decided to ask me to move to the sidewalk, he was like, "Look, I understand what you're doing and I sympathize with you, but they pay me a lot of money."
mhm.
And I'm sure they paid him when he went back there. So as soon as the report is up from the police department, it hasn't been posted yet. We'll FOIA the body cam because I want to hear what the Scientologist said to those police officers.
Yeah, and you would be able to do that in Austin, and it seems share a little bit about the what the experience has been like with law enforcement there in Austin who've showed up, or who I
That's the
guess that
only
was the first
time.
time they showed up, that one time.
Yep. They walk by me all the time. When I'm in front of the building that's the new building by the drag, they walk by all the time. And
Mhm.
sometimes when I'm walking back to my car, both police officers and city workers have been like, I couldn't say anything on camera because I'm in uniform, but like, go get them. So, I mean, it's not the same as LA. Will that change? I don't know. I think most of the people here are out of money, so that money's gonna have to come from LA if they wanna really bribe the cops here, because I just don't see the org paying any more money, although there are some people there that are very, very wealthy,
Yeah,
so who
that's
knows?
pretty much
Maybe
how
the
they seem
Cardones will
to
do
live.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, the Cardones should come forward with some money and help them with their rent. Or find them I guess they have a building. I heard too
I
that
wonder
even
if they'll
when they
keep
move in.
2.
You say that again?
I said, "I wonder if they'll keep both."
Keep both? Yeah, I was wondering that, but why? Why would you need to keep both if you have this giant building that you're moving into for
This is
you?
me. I can't get close to them at the temporary org. I can get all up in their business at the new org.
Yeah.
'Cause they're on a corner, right? So
Mhm.
when they have that closed down, I'm still gonna be able to get views of them and be able to holler at Lil Davy.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't know is will the stage be on the side of the building or will it be in front? I would
Mm.
imagine it'd be in front, but they could do either way. There's
Yeah.
more sidewalk space in the front.
Yeah.
And there's only 3 ways to get in and out of that building: the alley, which they want closed off, the
Yeah.
side, which they want that side closed off, and then the front, which they want everything closed.
And you'll have them covered.
Mhm.
Do you know what time graduation is on Friday?
So I here at Austin, it seems to be 6:15. Will they change that because of me? I don't know, but it seems to be 6:15.
Yeah, and I think in in Los Angeles, I think it was at 6. Maybe it was 6:30. It's been a long time, I don't remember, but that's a good question. If anyone knows where graduation is at the different Scientology organizations, let us know in the chat or the comments because looks like somebody wants to know, and I just do not recall. And, Michael's saying that, Austin ordinance, blah, 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 general restrictions. A permittee may not block off a street in a manner that prevents the free movement of pedestrians into and out of the area. Ah, yes, yes, yes.
I think that's why it's taking so long to be approved. I think the city is redlining their requests. I think
Mhm.
they'll probably get a percentage of what they want.
Maybe that's why they asked for so much. And he's saying too that Austin ordinance, the director must request council action on a request for a closure permit within 14 calendar days from the date notice is provided. Austin Center for Events for CEO. I guess it goes on more. That I was wondering that too because working in real estate, I've had to get like when you go before the city council or you want to get an event permit or something like that, it takes time. And it
It
seems like this is they just kept this permit in there and then just kept changing the
they
date.
did from last August.
Wow.
If you look at the parking and the shuttle permits,
Mhm.
the original application date on that was of July of 2023. So the parking permits for the two little lots and drop off areas, plus the shuttles from the temporary org.
Yeah.
And then there's another location, if anyone's familiar with Austin, that's southwest of the org, the new org. It's at 12th and West Street, which I don't know why they would do that. They may own that parking lot. I don't know. But they have requested for signage indicating shuttle stops and 15-minute parking stuff. And so we'll be at all those locations because they have to file with the city. Sorry that I know how to use the Google machines.
Yeah. That's the greatest
Oops.
part about it too. It's something they can't hide because it's just right there on the interwebs.
Right. I'll
It's
probably call the city again. They're very friendly. Honestly, once they found out that I wasn't with the church,
yeah.
they were very friendly to me. But when I was calling and asking about it, she was just like, "Are you the person who put in the thing?" And I was like, "No, I'm just a concerned member of the public." She's like, "Oh, okay, hold on. Let me tell you all about it." I was like, "Perfect."
That's so interesting too, that the vast majority of the people that you're interacting with, from the police to city hall, seem to not be down with Scientology being there and moving into this area. Is that the vibe that you're getting?
Yeah, nobody wants them there. Nobody wants them there. The students don't want them there. The students they have 3 reactions.
Mhm.
One is that they're just like, "What is this?" And then they read the sign and they ask questions and they're, like, creeped out.
Yeah.
And they're like, "This building's been closed. I never even knew what it was."
Yeah.
Or there are people that are aware of Scientology and they've been watching all the stuff going on TikTok, and they're like, "I'm gonna be out there with you." And I'm like, "Great. You should come out all the time because that would be really great if there were more people out there." There's a girl who told a story on one of my lives where she was so tired of being hassled by them when they were open before that
Yeah.
she caved and bought the book, and now they won't leave her alone.
Oh,
But
wow.
I was also like, "Could you send me those emails that they're sending you?" She has not yet, but if she does,
Yeah.
I'm hoping for a Betsy moment. Please give me a Betsy moment in Austin,
Yes,
please, please.
absolutely. Our favorite Scientology spy, Diane from Ventura. I need to check in with Diane and see if she's gotten more, but, like you heard the last time she was on my channel, the very next day, she gets an email. It's
They
just
don't understand.
yeah.
They are in a different century. They're in a different century. I mean, and even the cameras that are outside of the new org,
Mhm.
those aren't going to, like, some sort of, like, central location where OSA can spy on me, which was very disappointing when I found that out because I've done quite a bit of entertaining in those cameras just for them, but that just goes to a server, it goes to a drive on a server, and then if something happens, they'll look at it, but
Mm. Yeah. Let's talk a little bit about the
Mhm.
cybersecurity aspect of all this, especially with people who are going to be coming out and helping you. And what many people might not know is that our Pearl Snappy is a cybersecurity expert and
So,
has
y
this crazy
yeah,
background.
there one of the things so, like, the weakest point of contact of your phone is your Bluetooth.
Hmm.
So when you're using Bluetooth stuff, that opens you up because Bluetooth is not secure. It's fun because if they have a wireless speaker, you can absolutely connect to it because they don't lock theirs down. I tried to find theirs, but they didn't even have a Bluetooth speaker at graduation. They had a laptop plugged into it. I was able to connect to a couple of the cars though, and when they started driving, they definitely heard Elron giving the Xenu speech that I played for them in the car. And then they were freaking out because they did not know how to make it stop because they were elderly people just being like hearing like Elron yelling about Xenu. But that's
Wait, you
also
gotta walk me through this on their cars.
you know when you get into somebody's car, you have a rental car that has Bluetooth and you can like pair your phone to it.
Yeah.
Well, it works the same with my phone.
Uh-huh.
So I can pair to your car if I'm close enough to it. And then as soon as you turn it on, whatever I have like queued up or on pause just starts playing. So I didn't even realize that it was still connected until I heard Elron like blaring out of this car, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" So then I just kept trying to connect to all
Okay,
the other
I
cars.
see.
So,
You got a
so
couple?
that's I did. I got two. I got
Did you
two.
did you
Um,
get that on video?
You could, I mean, it is on video, but I don't know. I may have been muted at the time because I couldn't tell how loud their music was, and they kept
Yeah.
turning it up. And we were trying to shuffle batteries, so it may have been on mute. You might be able to hear it. I don't really remember. But we got two of them, and then because we were trying to find theirs, and that's when I realized that they actually had a laptop plugged into it.
Mhm, mhm.
Um, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna need them to upgrade so that I can play stuff off of there. But if you're gonna do that, you better make sure that your phone is locked down,
Yeah.
locked down.
Yeah.
Because Bluetooth, they don't know how to do it probably. But when it comes to like being just like out in the world, just be aware that if you don't have your Bluetooth locked down, I'm gonna connect to it and I'm gonna play stuff out of it because it's fun. It's fun for me. Now I have a target and I can play Elron to Scientologists in their car. So good. The look on their faces, they were just, like, terrified, right? Like, is he in the back seat? What's going on? I should know about this. Maybe Jackie, if I got Jackie's car, because, she's graduating OT7.
So they just like it comes blaring through their speakers and it's L. Ron Hubbard talking about Xenu.
Yeah, it's the OT3 speech, because
And
I
you're
have it queued
watching
up.
this.
Yeah, freaking out. They're freaking out. And they're really expensive cars that have Bluetooth stuff. Like my car is old. Mine doesn't have Bluetooth, so no one can do that to me. So how do you lock down your Bluetooth?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. You can't always, especially on mobile devices. It's
Mm.
a little trickier. So you just have to.
Not use your
Um,
Bluetooth headset then maybe when you're around if you're gonna go protest Scientology.
yeah, I mean, I will because these isolate my voice, so it will cancel out the sound. And again, they don't really know what they're doing. Um,
This we
they
know.
this the and they so maybe at the new org, so the new org will have way better cybersecurity and everything in place. So for example, your router that your computer connects to get to the internet, you have choices when it comes to the encryption that you choose, and you don't have to know what they all mean. Um, but basically, the better the encryption, the harder it is for somebody that has a certain set of skills to crack that password.
Mhm.
And there are programs to do that are free, and it's not illegal to download them. Okay, so like Jack the Ripper is one, or John the Ripper. It's John the Ripper is one of the things that will crack a password. So the weakest that you could choose on your home router right now is WEP. You could have it on WEP right now. Don't do that. I could crack that from your driveway in 5 minutes with a laptop.
Mhm.
I don't even need this thing. I don't
Yeah.
even need this. Um, if you have WPA2 or WPA3, that
How do
helps.
we
The
know
more
which one? I just like I'm gonna really need you to dumb it down. Pretend that I'm like 8 years old.
So you have like you have a router. So when you like
Yes.
go to your Wi-Fi at the top and you can like click on the
Not that
Wi-Fi that you're
eight-year-olds are
on.
dumb, that sounded horrible. Not that eight-year-olds are dumb.
Right. And actually an 8-year-old could probably do this faster than both of us. You can go to your Wi-Fi settings
Mhm.
through your system or whatever, and you'll find it and you can change it. So on a Mac, it's one way. It's you just have to find your router
Okay.
which is you can just if you have Comcast, there's probably a pop-up or like a little utility or something that came with it.
Mhm.
You can change it all of those places. Wherever you went to change the password or to
Yeah.
like set a password. And if you haven't changed your password and you're using the one that came from the factory or from Comcast, could you go find that app and change that password, please? Because then it's not like we all know those. There's a list. There's websites that have them all
Wow,
listed.
I didn't know
So
that.
don't don't rely on that. Oh, everything that you have ever done in your life is on a website, on the web, on the dark web, probably. That's why you shouldn't use the same password ever for anything, because if
Mhm.
they get you on one breach, they'll try that password on another one. The other thing is that the way that password cracking works is your password is not encrypted, it's hashed, which all that means is that it's you can't you can hash it, but you can't ever unhash. Okay. If
Mm.
you encrypt something, you can decrypt it if you can figure out the code. But your passwords and anything that you're doing, logging onto your laptop, everything, that's a hash, and that cannot ever be undone. How they crack it is by finding similar passwords and those hashes, and they cycle through a bunch of hashes. So there are very well-known ones that
Yeah.
the computer's going to go through first, or program. So like if your password is just like password, or like P4S $ W0RD exclamation point, that's going to come up. If it's
Mhm.
a dog's name, don't do that, because number one, if they have other information, that's the first thing they're going to guess. There's
Mhm.
lots of ways for me to try to get in to your stuff. I can do it through brute force, which is just guessing, which is why most things have like you get locked out after a certain number of times of guessing, and you may have to reset it. Never
Mhm.
be mad if you forget your password. Just reset it. And if you can't remember stuff, reset it every time. It really doesn't take that long. Or get a password manager. Your iPhone has one. Google Chrome has one. It's embedded, it's free. Use those. Don't
Good.
remember your passwords. You should only have like one password memorized. I have two, right? So one for my to log into my laptop, and then the other one to log into Aura, which is my password vault. I only remember that one. I couldn't tell you. If you threatened me with my life, I could not tell you any of my passwords because I let them be auto-generated.
Yeah. That's such great advice. That's such great advice. And when I go find my router and do all that, I'm probably gonna text you and be like, "Okay, girl, tell me again." Did you
Yeah,
see
I'm
Jill?
looking at it on my Mac right now. So yeah, you can change it all on the about your Wi-Fi.
Okay, good. Joe Cooter says, "What is CVE 2024-3645?" Well, do you know what that is? Pearlsnappy on the loose. CVE. You'll have to tell
Um,
us, Joe Cooter.
is that well 2024? So I don't know. I hope I'm like, is that a code? Is that your don't put your password on the internet,
Yeah.
sir. That's what that was. Or ma'am, or they. I'm sorry. Don't mean to assume.
Joe also says eventually cult of Scientology is gonna get desperate and start jamming sale bands, and they're gonna pick up an CFAA charge. What is
They
that?
would. Yeah, it's like the people that are in charge of the Wi-Fi and the cell stuff. So they
Mhm.
could have a Wi-Fi jammer for sure, and that's legal on their property. It can't extend their past their building. And cell jammers are highly illegal with the exception of government use. Um, and I promise you, I would love to stand there and watch them try to do that and then jam all their own phones. Because you think they're gonna know how to do an exception list? Do you think they're gonna know how to, like, enter all their own information and what they would need to enter into, even if they had software? You think those people understand what they would need to put in there to make sure that, like, all their people's phones weren't affected by that?
Yeah, you're totally
They
right.
don't.
You're totally right. These are the same people who are leaving up the F Sciento sign in Austin.
Yeah, and then lying to the police.
Mhm.
And what I think, what was funny, and it wasn't clear because we had just started filming, but at first people thought we were there to like film the graduation, and people were like waving at my camera. And I was like, "Oh no, Matt, you're gonna want to take that one back." And it turned out that was our good friend Stacy, who has named herself the mayor of Crazy Town and really hates it when people call her that. Well, what do you think I'm gonna be yelling the whole time when I
So
see her?
when did she name herself the mayor of Crazy Town? Because I've heard that reference in your videos, but I'm not sure what it's to.
I am not exactly sure. That was some deets that were passed to me, so I don't know how long she's been doing it, but long enough that like it's a well-known thing and she hates it.
She
Hates it.
Creeds keep calling her the mayor of Crazy Town. What do you think is happening with Kyle? So if anybody's seen the earlier leaked videos for Austin, there's Clapping Kyle, who was doing most of the talking and the recruiting. Have you seen him? Have we had a Kyle sighting? Can we confirm
No,
proof of life with Kyle?
not even at the graduation.
Hmm.
Not even at, so he could have already been in there and was hiding,
Yeah.
but I have not seen him. I saw the people that was one of the people from his videos we've seen, but outside of Vicky, who was the lady that was there the first day,
She's the
I
one
have
who
not
spoke to
seen.
you.
Mhm. So
Okay.
I've seen her, and she's the one that really was terrified when I was like blaring my horn in her face. Um, she like tried to like stand up to me and get all sassy. So I saw her again, and then we have to change our meetup spot if we go to another graduation because the place that I chose was also the place that all the Scientologists chose to go get their little snacks before graduation. And so I'm like, "Oh my god, those are all Scientologists," and everyone's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, that was the guy at the end of the table on the 3-minute shutdown video. That's him right there." And so I'm just, like, trying to, like, hide and, like, not show my face and speak quietly because 'cause I'm just like, "Oh, I just blew my cover." So we're not new meetup place because that was a fail. That I
Has
mean, you
anything
can.
surprised you about what you've witnessed when you've been out there in your interactions with whether it's non-Scientologists or Scientologists there?
I think a lot of I love when people just walk by and they'll just give me, like, the thumbs up, or they'll just be, like, nodding, like, "Yep, everything on that sign is true."
Yeah.
Um, what was weird was that so I was pretty amped up before I went to the graduation because I knew that I was gonna be by more Scientologists in the wild than I had been exposed to in this area yet so far.
Yeah.
I was anticipating a lot of the men because there are a lot of, like, larger men that aren't that old, and I thought for sure that that's what the confrontation was going to be. I thought they were gonna send those guys out to
Yeah.
talk to me. Not true. They sent one poor kid out to come take our pictures, and I'm holding the clear cognition on a sign, like, he's trying to take my picture, and I'm, like, with the clear cog just, like, right there, just like, "Here it is, buddy," and he's, like, not looking at it. He, like,
And he's trying to
refuses
take a picture.
and take a picture. I was like, "How's this working?" Also, who's allowed to look at this picture when you're done? Like, I guess you'll have to give it to Jackie because she's OT. Um, but I was like, "Oh, you can't read it? I'll read it for you." And so then I just, like, read the whole thing out, and then I read the L. Ron quote about, "If you wanna get rich, start a religion."
Yeah.
And he's, like, freaking out, trying to, like, take pictures of us on his little iPhone. It's probably not even his smartphone, he's probably using somebody else's,
Weird
probably
they'd send
Vicky's.
out a kid. So
Yeah,
you
he
think
was
he was like a teenager?
if I'm generous, early 20s, so he was young, he was a kid.
Yeah, usually
Um,
they wanna send out somebody who's kinda, like, done some of the upper levels so that they're not upset by what you as a squirrel are sharing with them.
they're so dumb. Why wouldn't you? I know that Kyle's clear. Could we send Kyle out? I know Kyle's clear. Kyle's gone clear. And where's Jackie? Sorry about your graduation, lady. Not sorry, though.
Yeah, exactly, 'cause she was the one. More fun than sitting at home. Hey, Diane, that's Diane, our favorite
Yes.
Scientology spy, which, hey, Diane, if you're still in the chat, you gotta tell us quick. Are you still getting emails or calls from Scientology? I know you did that
A little bit.
after when you were on, but tell us in the chat. If the or Nancy, if you see that, if she responds, can you throw it? Can you star it? Pearlsnappy, that is awesome. We need to audit together. I have my cheerleader blue and gold pom poms. That is the best find ever on the side of the street. I absolutely love it. Mary's asking across the street in front of the university, are they asking for that sidewalk to be closed?
Nope, which is, they wouldn't get it, and that's where I'll be if I can't get closer because it's actually elevated,
Yeah.
and I have a Zoom, and it'll be during the day.
So you'll totally be able to see.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise Broken Ankles asking, do you do your own stunts? I do.
Why we know you do with your broken ankles. Of course, I do my own stunts. Yes.
How
And all of the videos upcoming, if you see me, like, flying off of the building, it's 100% me.
It's all
Totally.
you. It's all
Mhm.
you. Paralyzed to Paralyze is asking, can you bullhorn and print the clear cognition so all the attendees can get their money's worth?
Mhm. You bet. I'm gonna redo all those signs. One, because there was a typo that no one told me about till yesterday. So now I'm self-conscious about it. And I wanted to redo it anyway because I wanna make all of y'all's ats on there more clear.
Oh,
And then
cool.
I think I'm gonna try to print out a picture of the ex-Scientologist that's also on the sign. Um, and I think tomorrow you said something that made me think about what I wanna do for Valentine's Day. Because you always say, "Remember, I broke up with you, Scientology?" Well,
Right. I broke up with you. They always like to act like they ended it when they kicked me out.
we're
They
gonna tell them. We're
left.
gonna tell them that we broke up with them.
I love
We
it.
broke up with them. And then I'm gonna try to find some, like, little Valentine's things, and I'll just make them from Xenu and
Yeah.
give them to people on the street.
Will Xenu be my Valentine? Mary Smith
Right?
is asked, oh, wait, we answered that
Yeah.
question. This is a great question. Electra is asking, do you think Davy might skip cutting the ribbon and send out someone else to do that like he did in England because of the protests?
Okay, so this is outside of my expertise, so I'll kinda lean on you. My From what I've heard from former Scientologists that are
Mhm.
on the tubes of you, most of them think that he will be there. I think that he kinda has to be because of this big video that he needs to make
Yeah.
for the birthday,
Yeah.
and considering that they failed opening Paris in January, that was a big fail. They didn't finish
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
So and Chicago is also wrapped in garbage bags. They gotta have something. They gotta have something, and this was Elron's, like, prize jewel of a location because of its proximity to the kids, which is
Mhm.
so gross.
Yeah, it really is. Right there across from that busy college, surrounded by Scientology. Thank you, George. Just finished live drive tour of Clearwater Sci-Fi Land with the new SPTV guy, Kai. Really enjoy all the Natalie's content and now loving me some
Aw,
Pearlsnappy. Thanks,
thank
George. I can't
you.
wait to go see what you guys did. That's going to be super cool. Oh my gosh, Diane says yes. Oh, I love the hearts. Diane says yes. So she's gotten emails. Diane,
Oh,
you
we
gotta
love it.
text me and send them to me, but
Mhm,
text
and
me.
then, Natalie, you send them to me.
Absolutely. We gotta see what they are. Oh my gosh, that's just crazy. J Beans, Natalie, do you think Kyle has been sent away or is in trouble for the emails and or pulling Pearl Snappy in? I don't doubt that. You know what? He probably is actually because I mean, I'm just trying to think, right? Like back in the cult days, what would we have thought about this? You would have busted somebody. You have to, L. Ron Hubbard says to put a head on a pike. When people be acting up, you put a head on a pike. So that could be Kyle. It could be somebody else that they're going to make an example out of. Um, but at the end of the day, it's like they let Kyle do these videos and post them on social media. At what point did no one look at them and go, and if you haven't seen these videos, I mean, they're next level. You got to go to at Pearl Snappy. You've got some on your channel, right?
I don't have any of the Clap and Kyle, those are all on Aaron's.
They're on errands. You got to add
They're on
some on
Growing Up in
yours too.
Scientology. I
Yeah,
will. I
definitely.
just, I honestly, I was going to, but that guy made me so mad at graduation that I was like, "Oh, sir, we're gonna show all of your busted videos
That's
and your
right. So
terrible acting."
tell people what happened with that. You're out there doing your thing, and then
And,
he shows up.
well, all of a sudden the police just show up, and the first guy came, no sirens, no lights. His backup had lights and sirens, but he was not, like, speeding, and that was not his beat. So the cop comes up, he doesn't even talk to us because we're not yelling. I didn't have to. I'm standing outside of this org holding the clear cognition on a sign. I don't have to say a thing. All those people are terrified for their lives of me. So the cop goes up and talks to that guy, Dave, and he's just like, "That's who lied about them owning the building." And then I was like, "Correction, they do not. They are renting."
Mhm.
And then that's when they called the landlord out. And, so he every time he was the one that was stepping forward and talking
This
to the
was
police and talking
Dave,
to
the
the
guy who's
landlord,
in all those
whose
videos
videos
that
I
you
showed.
reviewed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I was like, "Well, you made a bad choice, sir, and actions have consequences. You coulda let me stay there and be quiet and just told everybody to, like, not look at me, which would have also been hilarious because I'd have filmed everyone being like, "Oh my god." But you didn't, and the cops were laughing. Like, the one guy was standing with us. The second police officer that showed up was standing with us, laughing, and he was asking some of the people that were with us, he was like, "Why doesn't she have a microphone?" And I was like, "Well, don't you threaten me with a good time, sir. I'm gonna take that as a direct order." Yep, and I am gonna listen to that order. But he was the one that was, like, really upset, and he was like, you could see him walking back and forth and in and out and, like,
Yeah.
directing people, like, "Go start the laptop again," because the song would only play 3 times, and then they would have to come back out and reset it.
Yeah.
It
This
was
is
a
a song
new
they were
terrible
trying to
song.
play to create a copyright strike.
Right, as if
Mhm.
they think that I don't know how to fix that. Like, because it's not like I don't know what that song was. We tried to Shazam it, and it was, like, coming up with all sorts of stuff, and then basically it was like, This is so bad, we don't even know." So, I'm assuming it's one of their terrible songs.
Yeah.
Um, I don't maybe I need to brush up on the is it Jazz Aces or Jive Aces? What
Jive
is the
Aces.
Jive? Okay,
The
it's probably
Jive
that music.
Aces, that's there.
Yeah,
I don't even know what they are. There's some jazz group. They're made
Partnership
up
for a Drug-Free. It's
they're with
their
the drug
partnership.
free. Yeah.
Mhm.
Totally, totally bizarre. I wonder if they're still around.
The
Kiara, which is best to use, WEP or WPA?
WPA3 if you have it, 2 if you don't.
WPA. I have to remember that too. I'm totally gonna forget. I'm gonna text you and be like,
Yeah,
"Can we FaceTime?"
anytime, for sure.
Oh, Maria's saying, "Can you connect to the printers and send OT levels for dummies?"
Yes, actually, so that's another good point. Your wireless printer is like the worst thing. Like, turn that off all the time when you're not using it, because that's the easiest way for me to get into all your stuff. Whether you're a company, whatever, I don't care. Your printer, even though it's on a secured network, I could probably still get into it. So, yes, I probably can, and I'm hoping to bring a couple of the people that, are faster than me at that with me
Yeah.
to maybe do some of that. But if I could get to that level, we're just gonna blast Elron throughout everything and print out the clear cognition and all sorts of stuff. Like, I will make them so mad that I just saved everyone. I'm gonna be like Geico of Scientology. I just saved you $100,000. Yeah,
Oh
partnership for
gosh.
drug-free brainwashing.
I just can't even imagine. You gotta play the birthday game with me because L. Ron Hubbard's birthday is March 13th, and when we were in Scientology, we were always forced to play the birthday game for L. Ron Hubbard, and so my gift to Scientology, to L. Ron Hubbard for his birthday, and to David Miscavige is we're working hard to get my channel to 20,000 subscribers by his birthday. Because I heard you
I
talk
mean,
about you're figuring out the birthday game.
yeah, and so Austin does have a very good chance of winning it this year because you get 250 bonus points for opening an ideal org.
Yeah, and they would do that in time, so and didn't they win the birthday game last year?
Okay, so they have multiple ways that they count, which as a math major and a PhD statistician, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean you have different ways to count? So we're like redefining addition? I don't understand. So they have like an international cumulative, and then they have like another one. And so it's unclear based on their videos if they came in like fifth or sixth or second or 28th. It changes every video you listen to. It's rigged though. It is very much rigged. And they the only reason they have a chance is because it's not just based on sales, it's based a lot on getting people up the bridge and getting
Yeah,
people into higher level classes, and they do
mhm,
seem to be doing that in Austin for like, the people that have been there. They
yeah.
are, and they are, like, putting kids on the Purif, which is so like, "Oh, just take 8 million milligrams of niacin, it'll be great for you. Definitely won't ruin your
And do
kidneys ever."
5 hours a day in the sauna.
Where are they even doing that here? Do they have a sauna in that building?
Yeah, they would. They would have at least 1, if not maybe even 2. Some of them I heard have 2. In the new building for sure, and in the old building, I mean, they would have had to have had 1 unless they weren't delivering the purification
They
Runday.
were. There's a video of a girl, it's very awkward. So they're Hold on, I'm gonna remember his name or what the letters are. Shoot. I don't remember now. There's a guy that's interviewing a couple of people.
Yeah.
He's got a beard and like a salt and pepper beard. And he's interviewing a girl about just going through and he's asking her about her wins and she does not want to share. And he's like, "Come on, just give us one." And she's like, I guess I kind of feel better. And he's like, "We'll take it. So anyway, you can get a win." It was and you're just like, I really want to sign up and do that. Sounds great.
Oh, you got to share that video. Are you going to do more reaction videos to these leaked videos out of Austin?
I would like to. I just don't want to capitalize on all of them, but I will because they're great.
Oh, you should. You should. You should.
They're so good. And
They are.
well, so I do want to show a couple of the graduation ones. There's a graduation one I want to show with the woman who takes her shoe off and talks about Tom Cruise because yes, please. And then there's the one where they're trying to get people to come together. Was his 55th birthday last year?
Whose birthday?
50? No, it couldn't be 55th. 55 years or something. It was a
Oh,
50.
the anniversary. Didn't Austin have an anniversary or something?
Okay, it must be that. Okay,
Mhm.
so they were planning this really tragic sounding, like, go to different people's houses, like a progressive dinner,
Yeah.
essentially. And at the end, she's just like, "So everyone can, make side dishes and desserts, and the org will bring the meat." And I was like, "Well, I'm gonna make that a clip. I'm gonna clip that all day." Just this little girl just being like, "The org will bring the meat," and I'm like, "That look, it's my new best thing. F Sciento, the org will bring the meat."
I'm so you gotta do it.
The jokes write themselves with these people, especially at this org. They don't know what they're doing.
I was like, I honestly feel sorry for them, like, not in a
I
sarcastic
do
way.
too. No,
I
I
feel
do.
sorry for them because it's so bad.
Yeah, and I'm gonna catch them on all of it.
Yeah.
So I do wanna react to this super chat. 100%. However, there are ways that they would not have any idea. I'm just saying for educational purposes. I'm not suggesting that I have or will. Educational purposes only, okay? But, it's called Linux Tales. Linux Tales, just Google it, and if you have the skill set, you will understand why that's possible without getting caught. Linux Tales, it's free and legal.
Yeah,
Just buy a USB drive and download it, but maybe
yes.
don't.
What's the birthday game you and sorry if this is a silly question, but what's Pearl's connection with Sciento? The birthday game, we kinda just touched on that, so we might have already answered it. It's a game that all of the organizations play to get their statistics straight up and vertical. They get points to win the birthday game for L. Ron Hubbard. And, Pearl, you wanna go ahead and explain your connection to Sciento?
Yeah, I think, I started watching a lot of the same documentaries that a lot of the people that have never been in watched,
Mhm.
including, like, Going Clear and then The Aftermath with Leah and that other person, and I think, you how can you not watch that, right? It's like
Yeah.
but then I started listening to y'all and started hearing the unsanitized version, and
Mhm.
I was disgusted and mad, and I wanted to do something. So when I found out that the Austin org was opening, I was just like, "Oh, put me in." Also, if that is the same Clowntown, account that does content about MLM scams, I love your channel, and the 2 of them are delightful. I love them. And I'm pretty sure that that is their channel,
I
and,
would love to hear more about
they're
that.
they're both great. So if that's them, which I think it is, love your stuff.
That's always, that's one of my fears when I get on an airplane. I'm never afraid of the airplane crashing. I'm afraid that I'm gonna sit next to someone who's gonna want me to join their MLM or become a
Yeah,
sister wife. It's like
right. Yeah, exactly. It's
in
like,
my head.
I'm not interested in either. I'm not
No,
interested in any of that. No,
no,
thank you.
definitely not. Let's see. I'm gonna grab a question here for you.
Oh, that is them. Sorry. Yay. I love y'all. Y'all are the best. I watch all y'all's lives. Sometimes I'm replay crew, but like I love y'all. You guys are doing a great job.
I gotta look it up. Do you think they'll set up a booth with Clapping Kyle to take pics with him for $5, like a kissing booth, since you've affected their sales? Also, would you pay the $5?
10 out of 10, I would pay that $5. In this one case, that's the only money that I would ever give to Scientology. But
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, how
But I
great would
also
it with
but I
Kyle?
also might try to, like, snatch him away and
Mhm.
just be like, "Run, Kyle, run!" Just, like, set him free.
He's go you could save him. Arda, is there a way for Office of Admissions to send out a mass email to students warning them about Scientology?
So, yes and no, and it's probably getting close to being, like, a little late for that. My best bet would be to put something in the paper, in
Mhm.
the Daily Texan. And if I have to take out an ad because of the time, I'll just take out an ad. That's fine. Um, I don't know what they would let me get away with, but a few years ago when they tried to open, the students had a huge protest about it, and they
Wow.
had like a they signed petitions and stuff, and so when the students walk by, I tell them to look that up because it's still archived in the Daily Texan,
Mhm.
which is the University of Texas's student newspaper.
Yeah.
So the students actually got together because they were like, "We don't want this creepy child trafficking MLM disaster trying to take our money." And so I know that the students rallied before, and the more I'm out there, the
Mhm.
more they are interested in. That's why it's important, even if there's no Scientologists out there, for
Yeah.
me to be out there as much as I can, or anybody else who's around and would like to help, to just be like, "Hey, they're opening the 24th. Come bring your phone," because they hate that.
There has to be too a ton of social media and groups at the what's the name of the school?
University of Texas at Austin.
So if anybody knows anybody there or wants to get out, I mean,
The
there's gotta be
5th
ways.
largest college, or it's 5th largest university in the country. There's over 50,000 undergrads there. Somebody's gotta know somebody there.
Somebody's gotta have a Facebook page.
Right? And I'm not on the face piece.
Jovi Girl,
So
Snappy, have you thought of doing a parody to their "Flag is Here" song?
so the problem with that is that I'm gonna have to listen to it and learn it, and I can't. I've tried. I hate it so much that my brain just rejects it. So
Mhm.
I also there are I might be able to do the chorus. Is there a chorus? I think there's like a chorus.
I finally got it out of my head. It took
Right,
forever.
sorry.
Now we're now we're gonna be in trouble. Nancy says, "TC, so Tom Cruise's birthday is July 3rd, 1962." Oh, so maybe we could, straight up and vertical for Tom Cruise's birthday
You
too.
know, and it's what's sad is that he's the least vertical outside of Davy.
Yeah. Vertically challenged.
Mhm.
Hannah Banana, 2 strong, supportive, and admirable women. Thank you. That's super sweet. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What are you when are you now, I know that, and we should share this too, that still this evening, you were on, like, the tour of fun. You're gonna be
Mhm.
doing a live stream. Do you wanna share about that?
Sure, it will be between, so DOA is going to interview me, so it will be on live on both of our channels at 9 Central, 7 Pacific, so 10 Eastern, 8 Mountain. Look at me do time zone math
Look at you, and
like a
everybody send
grown
me
up.
your favorite clips from it. Oh, I cannot wait. 2 of my favorite people together. That's gonna be so fabulous. We are going to have to do this again, and
Yes.
I'm loving I'm gonna wanna see another reaction video. I cannot wait for that. Oh my
Oh,
gosh, I'm gonna
yes.
sneeze here. Hold on.
Gesundheit.
Oh, there might be a second one. God, this happened to me last night too when I was interviewing Mike Brown. Just like suddenly the sneezes started. Joe, thank you. I love Sammy and I started Radial Statler. I'm gonna sneeze. You take over.
Oh, okay, got it, okay. Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
you started using Tails with cal yeah, Linux Tails. Put some cal the only thing that's and Joe will understand, the only thing that sucks about it is that you have to if you want it to be persistent, you've gotta kinda do some workarounds, but other than that, Linux Tails is like, you go into ghost mode, essentially, to be able to go and poke around places that you may or may not be technically allowed.
All that fancy talk. Gabriel Bad Wolf, thank you. The flag song grows on you after a while, kinda like a fungus. Exactly,
Look,
it's hard to get rid
I
of.
saw what I saw what they went through, and whatever terrible song they were playing for me, I wanted to gouge my eyeballs out and jam them in my ears.
I
It
I
was that.
wonder
It
I
was
wonder
terrible.
what song it was.
It was a
Wow.
man singing. It kinda sounded hip hop at the first, like he was almost rapping, and I'm being generous with that. It's
Hmm.
almost rapping,
Okay,
and then it just
that could be a few
went into something else.
that could be a few things. Spit, hey, Spit is I think Spit's out in Clearwater, right? Ready to hit the road to Austin for some with an AP on a stick, Wireshark, and set up some sweet free org Wi-Fi, Honeyspot
Yep,
SSIDs for the story, educational purposes only, F
yep,
Sciento. Okay,
that's
so what
right,
does this mean
educational
though
purposes only.
for those of us, me, who does not understand any of what just got said? What's he saying simply?
Setting up a thing that would look like the Scientologist Wi-Fi, I almost said sci-fi. The Scientology Wi-Fi, it would look like it would
Yeah.
behave like it, and Wireshark is something that will sit in the background and capture all the data that's coming through that place, like through that little whatever was set
Mhm.
up there, and Wireshark can decrypt things that are encrypted, but a lot of stuff that Scientology sends over telex is not encrypted. So it'd actually be awesome because you would just get an open read on all the telex. It's like Pearl's out there again. Send that creepy person who shows up at all the openings. Go get him.
Bring them out, bring them out. Dragon
Mhm.
tears for me. Oh, what about a parody of Cult of Personality, Living Color, but the Cult of Scientology?
That's a good one. That is a good one.
I love the ideas. I love the ideas. Joe Cooter, may I suggest We Stand Tall becomes David Small?
I'm just glad I'm a whole inch taller than him so that I can make short jokes because I never get to make, like, jokes about calling somebody short because 'cause I'm always just, like, straining my neck to look up at him, so this will be great for me, and
He's
also, I think that
fun
some of the people
size.
are coming will have drones, and so that's I'm like, "Give me the drone footage."
We're going to have to do like during the opening, we're gonna have to do a like have you on live while you're there. You'll be on the scene, with the microphone, red carpet that thing. I've been dying
Oh,
to do
yeah.
red carpet. I've talked about this on the channel. Do a red carpet. David Miscavige is heading towards the stage. Who's he wearing? I think it
Right?
would be so fun, and then we can, jump over to you because it's in the afternoon, right? And this is on a weekend. It's on a
2
Saturday.
to 3 on it's 2 to 3 on a Saturday is the ribbon cutting specifically itself, but
Yeah,
I know that they're gonna be running around for days leading up to it.
yeah,
And I'm
definitely.
gonna be trolling them for days leading up to it.
And leading up to it, especially that day, like I said, we got think about it. I would love to do a red
Yep.
carpet, pull you in
Oh,
on that.
we can interview people and interview people in the crowd. I could try to get all sorts of people to talk to us.
Yeah.
So absolutely. The other thing too is that if you were gonna do that too on the 13th on his actual birthday, I think I'm gonna go down to South by and just have, like, a big Scientology sign and just, like, cause a scene, because I suspect that they'll have some sort of, like, front organization set up at South by,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm
For
gonna
sure.
find it.
Definitely. Dr. MLS, a PhD in stats. Wow. Your
Oh,
all your
yes.
skills are coming in, like, super handy when it comes to protesting Scientology.
I know, I was born to troll.
You were born to troll. Sparkling Dragon, as a dragon myself, have you figured out what they meant about dragons earlier?
Oh, yeah, I wanna
Yeah,
know that
so
too.
earlier this morning, people, if you did not catch my video, go check it out. But we were highlighting a video from, I think it was Papa Meat, Papa Meats, Papa Meat. Anyways, he was talking about Scientology and mentioned this dragon belief. And I don't know if he was making it up or whatever. But yeah, I did get a couple emails about it that I need to look into more closely because now I'm like, how did I miss the dragons in Scientology? 35 years and I didn't have any dragon interaction. Not okay, man. Not okay. I
Um,
need to know. I need to know. I want to know.
I know. I did see a question. So somebody asked, what my dissertation topic was. So I'm actually a psychometrician. So my PhD is in educational psychology and measurement. So I took a network, or I took an algorithm that looks at how people interacting with other people, how does their behavior change based on those interactions, which is fascinating. But instead, I applied it to student test data to
Mhm.
say, to look at kids who are choosing similar wrong answers to see if I could pull out patterns. And it turns out I could. And I can predict what textbook a student was using based on their pattern of incorrect responses.
Wow.
So I wrote that algorithm, and then I wrote a book about it that one time, and then they called me doctor.
That's fantastic. Pocono Pluck, Natalie, Mother of Dragons. I love that, totally.
Me too.
I'm, like, obsessed now about this potential I just feel like it can't be true because like, I woulda heard about it, but I need to go read my emails because somebody sent a reference to something L. Ron Hubbard said supposedly about this whole topic. Pearlsnappy is coming.
That's right. And they don't like it, and I love it.
Mhm. Yep, they don't like it. Nikki, thanks for the super sticker. They you know what? I feel like, though, some of them secretly like it and are going to like it, and they don't wanna say, because I know, like, I woulda laughed, some of the stuff you said. Even my best day in Scientology, I woulda had to have left the room to go secretly laugh at your protesting on my
Right?
best day in Scientology.
I'm giving them the best years of their life in
You
this
are.
cult right now. Right
It's
now. They're
insane.
having the best time.
You're doing God's work, truly, you are.
Yeah. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
All right, we are going to wrap this up. I know you have another live coming up with DOA, Defender Advance, later. Cannot wait to check that out. Everybody, we appreciate you so much for being here. Head over to, did we pull up your channel? Pearlsnappy, at Pearlsnappy, because not only is she protesting Scientology in Austin, but she does it in the most hilarious way possible. And we are all here for it completely. I'm obsessed. And leading up to this big opening, there's no doubt going to be so many things going on that I know you will keep us abreast of.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's gonna ramp up, and it's gonna be great, and, again, anybody who wants to reach out, pearlsnappy at Gmail. If you are trying to come from Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, let me know. We have people that are working to organize ride shares and all sorts of logistics, um, to help facilitate that. So if you need help, if you have questions, don't be afraid to email me, and I will forward that on to somebody who is not a flake like me.
Who will keep track of it and organize it.
That's right.
All right, you hold tight. Everybody else, thank you so much for being here. Go on and have the most amazing cult free day or evening.